So why food safety matters? In addition to you not wanting to give me salmonella, there's 48 million cases of foodborne illness each year in the United States. I guess I just added one to that. And there's about 325,000 hospitalizations. I did not go to the hospital. The pathogens of most concern, these are our favorite that we're always looking at. I'm sure you've heard of them. E. coli 157, right? Big, bad, scary one that everyone's afraid of. Clostridium is always a good one. Listeria, we're going to talk about that in a little while. Campylobacter, and my favorite, salmonella. So these are really important. They're the key ones that we look at. And all of the foodborne illnesses cause about 5,000 deaths per year. And so when you're thinking about it, you go, I got to put all this money in. Is it really worth it? 5,000 people out of the millions that live here, like really, does it matter? Well, it matters if it's your kid that gets sick, if it's your mom that gets sick, right? And so you kind of have to think of it on an individual level, or your food safety extension specialist gets sick. So you have to think about those things. So what's the easiest way to prevent foodborne illness? Anybody have a clue? Easy breezy. Wash your hands. That is seriously the most important thing you can ever do, right? Wash your hands. I might remind you of that a few times while we're here today. So, right off the bat, we're going to do a little exercise. So I have this picture of a little small farm, and I want to know from a food safety perspective, is this a good small farm design? So these people have taken care, for those of you who can't see that far, I know I can't. There's a house here with alfalfa right next to them, a shed, their compost is over here in the corner, their goats and their sheep, rabbit and chicken tractors, nut trees, chicken coops, so there's nut trees here, fruit trees up there, their goat and their sheep hang out in the middle, they've got all of their veggies here, that looks like a kid's playground right up there, it's written in white, right, child play area, and you got some herbs on the other side. So, is there anything about this picture that you think, yeah, that's awesome, that's exactly how you should set it up, or do you go, okay, this is not good, what should they do differently?
Goats are too close to the vegetables.
Yeah, they're too close.
Goats are very close to the vegetables. So what is the minimum distance that you should have between your livestock and your veggies? Any ideas? So the rules say 50 feet. However, if you are concerned that potentially your goats might get out of the pen or anything like that, you can move them back a little bit. So we've seen people have their goats 500 feet away. We've also seen people have their goats literally with the fence right here along their veggies. You definitely don't want to do that. Poop goes everywhere, right? So it's going to end up in the garden. Okay, what else would you move? Anything else need to go somewhere else? Do you like where the compost pile is? What do you think?
The alfalfa.
The alfalfa?
Alfalfa.
A little too close? Probably shouldn't have it growing right outside your bedroom window. Might want to move it a little bit, but in the grand scheme of things, you're not going to eat it, people aren't going to eat it, so it's kind of okay that it can be there. I think for the most part, it looks pretty good. I would move the goats further away, and you have to think about, too, how are the goats and the sheep getting in here to go to pasture? Is there a gate here, or is this the gate? Are they coming outside? So you have to worry about that. I like where the compost is. I like that it's right in the corner, and you can dump your goat and sheep poop right into it, so that's kind of good. And then you can bring it over to your vegetable boxes when it's finally composted. And you can see they actually have 3 ongoing piles of compost, which is good. You want to have multiple ones going so that you can use one while others are working. The chicken coop, for my chicken coop, have my own compost pile for chicken coop. Separately, and my chicken coop actually is this far away from my house, and I have the compost out here because we know that chickens have salmonella. We know this, right? I mean, it's just a given. And so we want to make sure we keep salmonella away from everything, and their poop is particularly high in nitrogen. So if you're going to use it as compost, you need to cut it with something else. So you need to add another kind of soil or something else in there. And so I keep my chicken poop separate. Otherwise, goat and sheep poop can go in one place, and you can put your veggies in there. I have tortoises, I put their poop in there. You can put a lot of stuff in there. And we're going to talk about composting in a little bit. So for the most part, this looks good to me.